Okay, now this is a cool thing that his people put out. Olly Murs, look at that. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Okay, let's flip to the back. We're going to talk about music now. This may bore you, but I hope not, because if you're into music, you're going to dig this. All right. You say top 20 favorite tracks.
Yes.
Olly Murs busting out top 20.
This is what I would be listening to on my playlist.
And when I went through this, I was reading through, and you picked probably 4 or 5 of my all-time favorite songs.
Really?
That were never really big hits in the US. I've always secretly liked British pop a lot, even though it hasn't really broken here. A lot of stuff.
It's really confusing because I get asked this in interviews quite a bit. What's your favourite music and artist? And I'm like, you know, first one that comes off my tongue is Paul Weller.
Okay.
And the second one is like Madness. And sort of Americans are like,
yeah.
Okay,
well,
we kind of know Paul Weller.
Yeah, Our House was a hit. It Must Be Love was a minor hit. So you have Madness at #2. Stevie Wonder at #1. You gotta love Stevie.
Well, I did that for my first audition. If people who are watching this, if they want to, if you go online, my first X Factor audition, I did Superstition.
Nice.
And I kind of did a different spin on it. I sort of danced like a bit like my dad. During the performance. It's a kind of.
We can see it.
I always take the mickey out of myself, but people say I'm quite a good dancer. So, but no, it's a cool. That's why I did my first audition. So that's always been my favourite.
Yeah.
I love
so let's
Stevie.
go. But a couple that you picked, Robbie Williams, Feel. That's like my all-time favorite song.
Do you know what? I think for anyone, I mean, for me, Robbie's one of my idols.
And you got to sing with him on X Factor.
Yeah, I did Angels with him on the X Factor. But I think that song, for the artist that he is in the UK, and for all the problems that he had during his career, that song when he released it, it's got, you know, it's sort of about him, and it could just really feel the sentiment behind the song and how he he wrote it about him so much. It was brilliant. Great
That
song.
whole CD, if you don't have Escapology or you don't know anything about it, that whole CD, because he even did some stuff with One Direction, I think, on X Factor as well. Is that true?
Yeah, he performed with him the year after me.
I think so.
So that's kind of mine in One Direction.
So I know a lot of the directors are kind of into it. So go look up that Escapology album.
Well, we both,
Amazing.
me and One Direction both did the X Factor, and we both performed with Robbie, which is great. Yeah. So yeah.
Blur, Park Life. Park Life.
Song.
See, no one knows that in the US.
I mean,
hardly.
Oh, it's one
All
of my
they know is woohoo
song
too.
Heavy metal.
Yeah.
But Park Life is.
I woke up this morning.
Song.
I walked out into the park.
But it's funny because Park Life actually isn't Damon Albarn, who is the lead singer. He actually doesn't sing on the track. It's another guy. I can never remember his name.
Yeah, I'm not
he
sure
actually
either.
raps and stuff. On it. It's a genius.
Talks
song.
about walking through the park and feeling good about himself.
So many people. It's a great song.
Park Life.
It's very British.
Yeah, totally.
Proper.
So do you lean Blur over Oasis? You put Blur at 18, Oasis at 19.
Do you know, there wasn't really a kind of, I didn't say like these are my #1 is Superstition. I mean, obviously, clearly it's one of my favourite songs, but it was just kind of a 20 songs mashup of what I liked. I think Oasis, Roll With It's a great track, one of my favourite. I could have picked about 25 different songs.
For sure. Live Forever is one of my favourite
Justin Timberlake, Cry Me River was like my first ever tour I went to. I learned how to beatbox through Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
Like, he taught me a lot of stuff. Amazing singer.
Can we get a little quick demonstration right now?
I can do a little bit.
Let's do it. Very good. Beatboxing live.
So,
all right.
I mean, literally. I mean, what else have we got here? We got
Coldplay Paradise. Love it. Rod Stewart, Maggie May, going for an oldie but a goodie.
I love it, Maggie May.
I love that one
do you know? I think I love Rod's music, but I actually love him more.
That was one of the first concerts I ever saw.
I love
in
Maggie.
high school. He's kicking soccer balls out in the crowd.
I just love his style, his voice, everything about him. His music's great, but I just love him, I think.
Yeah.
I think
my buddies, that's when he was wearing a bunch of trench coats at the time. That was like his look. We all went out and bought trench coats in honor of Rod
Clash,
Stewart.
Should I Stay or Should I Go?
Should I Stay or Should I Go?
A brilliant song. They're just my favourite. I mean, I would be disappointed if I played that to people and they were like, oh, I don't like them.
So a lot of the younger people, if you don't know a lot of this, Brit pop is kind of the term maybe from the 90s. A lot of good 90s stuff. Can I throw a couple other songs at you? Pulp, Common People. Is that a great song?
Oh, how does it go? We want to live like common people.
Common people. Yeah,
I want to be like ever.
She's dating down to date him and all that. Yeah.
What other song do you like?
Stone Roses, 10-Story Love Song.
That's a great song.
I like that.
I like Supergrass.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know them as well, but yeah.
We run free. There's so many. If you ever get a chance, and I don't know if US iTunes actually do it, but if you go on, there's so many best of British 90s pop.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing compilations.
There you go.
If you love British music.
Yeah. I hope that wasn't totally boring, just talking a little British music. But, you know, it's all about learning. It's all about exposing. That's why I love working at the radio station so much. It's all about exposing yourself to other music.
But I think now with social networking and you know, how big and strong it is. That, you know, I think that's why British music's got a little bit more chance in America now, more than it did maybe 10 years ago. I think your social networking now is giving kids and young people a chance to explore and not just like what's in the US. It's like, do you know what? I want to like One Direction. I want to like The Wanted.
Well, we like stuff that's fresh, because I'll come to admit American pop music got a little stale in the last few years. A lot of the same producers, a lot of the same dance beats. Whereas a lot of the British, I think that's why it's cutting through right now, because it's more unique.
I think in America, it's from my perspective of being from the UK, it's very much hip-hop, R&B driven, and what used to be really strong, and then it was always country music as well.
Right.
But obviously, so that's kind of been Britain's way of getting into the market. It's been a little bit more bandy, I suppose. I mean, obviously rock music's huge in America as well, but I think we're just a little bit different, I think, which is nice. But yeah.